Hey guys, it's Tuesday, so you know what it is. Real estate tips for you. Today I'll be talking to the sellers. I've been doing real estate for about 8 years, so I do have clients now that have purchased from way back and now they want to sell, or people that I've managed their properties and now they want to sell. So I kind of talk to you about things that I go through in my everyday life. Trying to run this company here. So the first thing I will say, and shout out to Tom Spear with Greenline Real Estate. He was my old principal broker, awesome agent and broker. He always told me to do a seller estimated worksheet. So if you're a seller, make sure your agent does a seller estimated worksheet. It helps to see what your bottom line could be based off the current comps and what you owe in regards to mortgage. And also all the fees associated with selling the property, which is like 95% of the time, the seller pays for all the commission on both sides, the buyer side and the listing side. So make sure you talk to your agent about commissions. Also, make sure you talk to them about the fees, the potential seller assistance that the buyers may ask for. They can ask for 3 to 6% depending upon their the loan that they have. Make sure they talk about home warranties. Make sure they talk about termite treatment. The seller is responsible for that if there is any evidence of that. So make sure you talk to your agent about all the potential fees, minus what you owe, the comps, and then see if you're going to make any money. And then that will also determine kind of how much money you put into your property, which I'll talk to you a little bit about later on, about how much you should put into your property to get it ready to list. So as the seller, make sure you see that seller at an estimated worksheet before or right after signing your listing agreement. So also when I spoke to you about the fees, like I said, 95% of the time or more, the seller pays for the commission. So talk to your agent about the commission structure, how they're going to split it with the other agent. Now, I would say generally, I do see about 6%. Of course, it's always negotiable. So you can say 5%, you can say 4%, you can ask for 2%. It all depends on kind of like what your budget is and what that agent's willing to do with that percentage. So, most times they may split it 50-50. Sometimes they may not. They say, I get, 4% as a listing agent and they get 2%. So as the buyer's agent, you have no choice. You got to kind of take what they give you. But from the listing side, your agent can negotiate with you on that commission structure there. Next, I would also say, make sure if, you're paying them commission, that they're putting in the work, right? So you want to make sure that they have a marketing plan that they present to you before even signing a listing agreement. You want to see what their plan is for them and your property, so you can get it on the market, get eyes on it, get visitors, which will ultimately lead to offers, right? So in the marketing plan, you want to see kind of what their plan is. I would say number one thing is it's going to be on the internet, right? So you want to have great photography. I would say make sure your agent hires a professional photographer, or at least has a professional camera. At Greenline, my old brokerage, we did learn how to do photography ourselves. I will say I'm not great at it, so I do hire professional photographers. It takes some time to kind of learn these cameras and systems, but cell phone cameras are good. They're not great, especially when in regards to lighting, and you have to use, different equipment and lenses and things like that to adjust to smaller or larger spaces. The professional photographers have put their money into the equipment, so it will show in the photography. And also you want to make sure that it shows in the best light possible to get people to come in to view it with their agent, or also to just come into an open house. You want them to at least come in and see it, whether they like it or not after they leave. You want to just bring them in, draw them in, get them in there. Another way of doing that would be sprucing up the place, putting a little money into your property before you list it. And that all depends on kind of what your bottom line looks like. If you're really close to breaking even, or if you're not going to make any money at all, it's going to be tough to kind of find that justification to put the money into it. But it helps to make your photos look better. And two, when people come to physically see it, they have a kind of like a good impression of the home. You don't want to have, old clothes strewn about. You don't want to have pet dander over here and, just looking a mess. You want it to look livable, and generally, white walls are fine, but you want it to look clean. And I will say little things, little touches like that do go a long way. You don't have to, bust down the kitchen and put new floors in. If it makes sense and you have that kind of equity in the property, then you can do that. Otherwise, just spruce it up just just a teach, just a little bit. Next, I would make sure if you're selling your property that you speak to your agent about hosting an open house. That's a part of the marketing plan, right? So there's different types of open houses people tend to hold. They can be on the weekends, they can be on the weekdays. I would say make it a time frame that makes sense, where there's, people are off of work, which I would say 9 to 5 after that time frame would be great. At 6 o'clock on a Tuesday is okay. If you can't get to one on the weekend, or they can't get, if you can't leave your house on a weekend as a seller. Now weekends are most popular because people are generally, 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. So weekends tend to be the most popular to hold your open houses. So make sure you talk to your agent about when they're going to do it. What is their strategy? Will they partner with a mortgage company? Will they have food? Will they have a DJ? Kind of how are they going to market this and get people's eyes on this property? You want to talk to them about that. And lastly, I would say review your listing online. After the photos are taken, after the verbiage is set for your property to make it seem as appealing as possible to draw people in to view it, see what it looks like online. You want to see what everybody else is seeing. And that ultimately is the footprint that will be left on the internet, whether it's through the multiple listing system or it's through Trulia, Redfin. Whatever's on the multiple listing will generally go out to the other subsidiary websites that also market real estate. It's helpful, so double check and make sure you see your listing before it is listed. So if you have any other questions as sellers and getting ready to prepare your house for hitting the market, feel free to reach out. If you have any questions off topic of listing your house, reach out, let me know. Happy to help. It's an interesting industry to navigate. Things are constantly changing, so as well as the laws. So please don't hesitate, whether I'm your agent or not. If you have a quick question, happy to help you. All right. Otherwise, have a great Tuesday. See you.